Okay. So he was doing, at this time, he was doing what drug?
Crack.
Is it cheap?
So then it is. So they always say that cocaine's like, is back in the day, they used to call it the rich man's aspirin because it was expensive, but affordable. Now the prices of drugs are completely insane, but crack cocaine, you could get a little 20 piece and it'll get you high, but I don't know that much about crack but it is cheap. It's a quick high. But the problem is you'll keep wanting that high. There's no stopping it.
Gotcha.
So here's everything I have. Just give me the drug, So that's pretty much what it was.
Right.
And like I said, it wasn't like he was doing it every day. It was like every once in a while he'll disappear and not show up for hours. I remember one time he ran out of gas. He's like, I'm out of gas. I'm down. I'm like, just crazy. And he took off with the dog. He had a dog with him one time. And I'm like, the dog was freaking out. Yeah. So I set the GPS on his phone and the GPS dings. Now, mind you, this is what the old GPS is.
Oh,
right.
When you back in the day.
So it's going to give me like a roundabout where he is, but not where he
Not
is.
exactly like it is now.
So it's like, I want to say it's like 1:30 in the morning. My stepfather, we left our keys in the vehicle. We lived in the middle of nowhere, right in the mountain. I'm like, they're sleeping. Let me sneak out. By the way, I'm probably going to get grounded for this at 48. I took my stepfather's truck and it dinged near the church across from, what church is that? It's the Methodist? Not the Methodist.
Which one?
Going up towards Crystal Lake.
Like
at the
30?
light. Yes.
Oh, the white one.
Yes.
Okay.
So it dinged there. So I'm coming down that hill going towards, going up 190 and I see my car pull out. He's in my car. And I'm like, I'm following him because he goes up the hill where that really nice mansion is. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
He goes up that hill and I'm like, I'm flashing my lights, laying on the horn. He's probably, he's high at this point, I'm thinking. But I'm like, I don't care what you do. Take the damn car, take the money, whatever. Give me my dog. Give me my dog. And he did, let the dog out. He went on about his way. Give me my dog.
So it must have gotten really bad from there.
Yeah.
It did. It was up and down. Then it was him selling it, which was a nightmare. You got people calling at all hours of the night. You got people, he would take off with these people.
So not to stop you. So at this point, was he still working the flooring business or did he kind of just?
I don't know. It was getting messy. It was getting
Gotcha.
messy. Like he wasn't doing what he was supposed to do. He'd work sometimes, not work.
More inconsistent.
But and then shifted into selling.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Gotcha.
He sold out for a little bit and then came selling the heroin. And of course, I'm his ride or die right by his side. Like I said, I will say this until I'm a grown woman. I could have said no. I could have, whatever. I had a choice and I could have stopped it. I could have walked away from it, whatever, but it's not how it went.
Was this something where you're like, you know what? If you can't beat them, join them?
Yes, absolutely. It's more like I fought for so long. It was like I gave in, like here's the white towel, here you go, throwing it in.
You couldn't walk away from him. Like
no, I loved him.
Your love for him was like.
Absolutely.
Right.
100%.
And it's easy for people to say, she should have. Okay, fair. Maybe she should have. But how many people will sit here and walk away from love that they feel here? Very few and far between.
Absolutely. And you don't know until you're in the situation.
100%. You can't even say what you would do.
Right.
Absolutely not.
Well, it's very easy, like you guys said, like if you're not experiencing it, the shoulda, woulda, coulda, or she should have done this or she could have done this. But until you're in that situation, like you guys said, it's kind of.
I suppose you could have left earlier on before it got real bad. But again, there was love there.
I was holding on to hope.
That things would change, that you would have that family.
And you would change for a little bit.
And how old were you at this point?
So altogether, Paul and I were together for 10 years. So we're going like a couple of years into.
At this point, though, when you had started selling with him?
30. Yeah.
Well, like that's
it was a long, like it's not like we sold drugs that whole time.
Yeah.
He was home for a while. He's clean for a while. He got into the crack and he started selling the crack. Again, I had no part in any of that. And I'm not trying to incriminate myself on anything. But anyways.
On the
crack. Yeah.
Would he say to you, like, after he went, say, for a week of selling or a week of...
I knew he was selling when he was home.
What would make him say, that's it, I'm done, I don't want this life? Whatever made him change? Or was it, did you did you push him enough to where he's like, okay, I'll quit for a while?
I think I don't know, to be honest with you. I can't answer that.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Okay.
Honestly. I think that he wanted the desire to be clean. Who wants to do drugs? It's not like a fun lifestyle.
No.
You know, first of all, it's very costly. Second of all, it ruins your life. It ruins your body. It's possible you can overdose. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
There's no good side to doing drugs. Not one.
No.
You get a little bit of a high and it goes away. And then you got to deal with all the shit the next day or whatever when you come down.
But then you keep feeding that.
Right. Absolutely. Addiction, it's an awful, awful thing. Awful.
So now you guys are selling it.
When it first started, we're together all the time, 24/7.
Sure.
He's still, at this time, I want to say no, he wasn't on probation then. I think my biggest fear was like, let me do all the work so that you don't get in trouble type shit. Like I had no record. I had nothing. Like, so to me, I'm low key. They're not going to look at me.
Under the radar.
Yeah,
Sure.
they're not going to look at me, but lo and behold, you're not so discreet in a small town. People know what's going on. They're not stupid, but it's almost like you're in like you have tunnel vision. Like this is what you do every day. It's almost like a job. It's paying your bills. It's giving you money. It's doing all those things. And he was still working like on and off, making money. So
when you guys were getting by, when you guys do this,
I wasn't living in some luxurious hotel or apartment or house. That's not, we were living like a normal life if we weren't.
Yeah.
Pablo, that's a lot. But yeah, and like I said, he kept his job the whole time. So there was money coming in, but then again, how much the money that you get, you still got to flip it. It's turning it over. It's the same thing. You got to go back up there.
Is this like a constant around the clock job? That's what I wanted to ask. Like, what is it? Is this like completely, where are you living? Do you go to without getting too, I'm sure, do you have to go pick up at probably some seriously scary locations?
Or do people meet you? Like, how does that work?
So
look at us asking all these questions.
I never can reconnect the way.
No.
It was Hartford. It was.
Hey, listen, we're Italian. We don't know nuts, baby.
One thing you never do is no snitching. No snitching. It was Hartford. It was a bad part of Hartford. And it's literally all day.
Were you scared as hell to go there?
Never. You know what's funny is that Paulie being half Spanish.
Yeah.
I'll kind of have. Now he was the one more scared. To me, it was like an adrenaline push. It was weird. So never scared.
They must have respected you.
The relationship that I had with the guy that I dealt with was amazing. He was very good to me, very kind. It wasn't some shitbag off the street. You'd be very surprised. Very surprised.
Wow.
Good man, good looking man, very well kept. Not living in a big mansion, definitely living in a shitty part of.
Yeah. Was it nice inside?
Not too bad.
Okay.
Fair. Yeah. Okay. Like a normal lifestyle.
I feel like I'm watching a movie right now. Like,
Steve. I'm like Sammy the Bull Gravano. Dude, this is the shit I'm talking about.
I'm talking about Victoria Gotti, bro.
I am fascinated with the mom, dude, because you know that? I love it.
I love all that stuff.
Maybe that's where this ties back to.
That's why I'm sitting on the edge of my seat right now, because I'm intrigued right now.
Listen, I'm going to tell you what, right now, there's going to be middle-aged women everywhere driving in their Subarus at the seat of their pants saying,
listening.
Holy shit, where's this going? Where is it going?
Yes. That's why I'm on the edge of my seat right now. No, so people would call you guys like from around the block at any time.
So we're in Stafford. Obviously,
you're in Stafford.
People here were doing it. It was kicking off like. So these people are going to go to Hartford to get it. It would be a trip out to Hartford. Not that I'm condoning by any means what I was doing, but what I was doing was going to get it, bringing it back to more.
It's a business.
That's what it was. I never touched it. I never messed with it. All I did was some people will cut up drugs and separate drugs and put things in drugs. That was not the case ever.
So it's not like and this is going to be like an ignorant question, but I'm really intrigued because I watch way too many mob movies and stuff like that. So it's not like, there's not like a house where somebody's like,
oh, there absolutely is. But that wasn't me.
Oh, there's no, those
there is absolutely those.
Stop. Lala, stop.
Are you there? Where are you from? Are you that? Are you?
Listen,
There's
I'm
also
embarrassed.
houses that
Listen,
exist that
let me
people-
ask my question. I'm intrigued.
There are. Those houses do exist. It's not like what it looks like on New Jack City.
Mhm. Look,
Where they're all lined up with their boobs hanging out. Is that what you're thinking of?
yeah,
Their underwear and boobs? No,
yeah, because you
not so
can't
much.
wear clothes because then you can't hide the stuff.
No, there are houses that.
Girl, nobody's
No.
gonna take us serious if you keep talking like this.
I want no. I want for the listeners. There are listeners that have the same questions. No, there are listeners with the same questions.
Two pockets.
Listen,
Yes.
if I'm going to ask these questions, I need to ask them
Right.
from somebody who knows. Okay, so you said it felt like they're.
It's not like what you see on TV per se. Like they're not just sitting there, boobies hanging out everywhere.
But the reason why they don't do that is so that they can't
hide us.
Right. Like, okay, yeah.
And there's also houses that are called trap houses that people get high in all. That's what that is, where you have just multiple people in one house that looks like a total dump, just getting high all day long. And you know, that you've seen the movies too. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I've never done a trap house ever in my life.
Right. So you guys are going Hartford
back to town. Yeah.
Now, is this, let me ask, I probably can't ask that shit.
So ask and I'll say yes or no.
Okay.
The person, the people you were getting your drugs from, is it gang related?
No.
Okay.
He may be related, but it's not like gang related, like as far as.
Not like Latin Kings or this or that.
Gangs aren't really like they used to be back then.
Kate's only in 1990.
Yeah, I mean, did you hear about Latin Kings?
Oh, yeah. They were huge in town, they said.
I actually know a few.
You do?
Oh,
to this day?
Absolutely, to this day. Yes. Yes, I do. But again, gangs just aren't like, even being in prison, there's not. It's not what you think about.
I know.
We brought prison talk to Joe.
So, just so you know, it's not like Orange is the New Black.
I have never watched it. So
she never fucking watched it.
When you watch Wentworth, that by far is the best one.
I am watching Orange is the New Black. I am here for all the people for questions. People want to know. And you're telling me, okay, we'll get into it. All right. Okay, so you guys are dealing. Tell me when it gets real bad.
Yeah, like
tell me what's going on. Do you have an inkling that shit's getting real?
I think it's like more nervous, like, how long are we doing this for? Do I want to keep doing this? Can we stop doing this?
How is he? How is his, are more drugs happening with him?
No, he's still, it's not consistent. It's like every once in a while. It wasn't
nothing
like
all the thing.
Okay. No, nothing that
So you're saying he would go a day without it?
Yeah, sometimes. Absolutely.
Okay.
And I mean, like I said, I've dabbled in stuff. I've done stuff. It's not like I'm innocent in any of it. I've tried pretty much every drug out there except for crack. And I've never done. So
you've done heroin?
Yes. Tried it. Pills? Yes. All of them.
Which one was your favorite?
Mm-mm.
My dad always said, Kate, don't ever try him. He goes, because you'll like him.
Well, that's the
and
problem.
Not that my father ever did him. He was just.
Yeah, well, it's scary.
Yeah. Like, is there one where it's like after you're done, you come off your high, you're like, I want more of that?
So I felt that, like, say an opiate, like a Percocet, it would like relax me. It was, you know what I'm saying? Like it made me feel relaxed. Cocaine's an upper, so it's like different. I don't know. Cocaine was all right.
Yeah.
Not something you want to do all the time though. Because the come down is awful.
Terrible.
Ugh.
But so what is very interesting is when I talk to you, or when we talk to you, okay, we're talking to you right now, it sounds like you're very aware of a lot of this stuff. Like you're not one of those people who's like
very street smart, always have been.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? Like you're not somebody who's heavily into drugs. It sounds like you never were heavily into any of that stuff.
On and off. I definitely had my issues.
Yeah.
By far. I'm not going to elaborate too much on it.
You don't
because I think, not that, I mean, I don't mind. I think there's definitely more. But I've definitely had my fair share. For sure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Did I answer the favorite question? I would say perks.
Okay. Yeah.
If I had to pick one.
Stand and square.
I have no desire now, of course, too. But I think that's when my life changed and I seen things differently.
Yeah.
Is where I was like, oh, hell no.
Nope. About it.
Nope.
Let's talk about the inevitable. Let's talk about
big day.
The arrest.
The arrest.
You want to talk about the whole day?
I want to talk about that day and I want to dissect it.
Yeah.
Okay. So he's at work. Well, he's at work.
Okay.
It's 9 to 5.
Yes.
Okay.
We were at a hotel because we had our dog and no one would take us to the pit bull. So we're staying at a hotel tonight and my dog up. My dog was like literally my ride or die.
How was it living in a hotel?
It sucked, but it was like literally like it was a short period of time.
Right.
It was only like a couple of weeks because I was staying with my daughter. And then we went to the hotel because she couldn't have the dog there. Someone had complained about a pit bull on the property. In fact, though. So we go there. We're only there for a couple of days. So he's at work. I'm about to go pick up a large amount because I have someone who requests a large amount. We might have to back up somewhere in here at this. Anyways, so I have a request for a large amount. And
can I ask how you get a request in the modern day? Is it
so no, they'll call you and be like, I want this amount. And it's obviously more expensive, more, like a bigger amount. That's it.
Sure.
Like I'm going away for the weekend. I'm
Got it.
flying on me. And that's what the request was, that this person wanted a little bit more than normal. So I pulled out of the motel, sorry, I apologize. It was Motel 6 at the time, Barnett, right?
Yeah, we know where you're at, girl. Yeah.
So
Okay.
I pulled out and I look to my left and I see a all blacked out Chevy Impala. And in my gut feeling, of course, we always got to go with our gut. I'm like, that's a police officer. And why is he pulling out from over there?
So you're aware.
I'm aware.
This is not you being like.
No, I mean, you live this lifestyle. You do these things. You
know your days are potentially.
When
numbered.
I tell you that I'm like over, like I notice everything and anything, and I think it's because I was doing that for so long, living that life. You always have to look over the shoulder, whether it's you're out there in the city and dealing with people that are dangerous, or you're worried about the cops pulling up behind you, or whatever it may be.
Okay. So, holy shit! Oh, right.
Yeah, I'm like, oh my gosh.
So the car is following you.
Pull out, come to the light, pull out, take a left, going up.
You have a lot of drugs on you right now.
I know.
No drugs right now.
No drugs, not a bag.
No money, nothing.
I had money on me, but not
enough to say, gang, police.
Now the order. Have you ever had an order like that before? Like would that have? Okay, so it's not like this is like out of the ordinary.
Nope.
Okay.
Just another day.
Just another day.
Okay.
So
I love watching you. I know. People are so happy with us. You guys are welcome.
So I take a left at the light and coming up towards, Burger King that's across from 99. Is it?
Yeah. Ocean State job lots there.
Yeah. Ocean State.
Yeah.
It used to be the Kmart Plaza.
Yeah. Oh, man, girl. Best Kmart ever.
And somebody in there.
What does that look? Can I just ask real quick? What does that look like? Like they pull up, you go, hey, what's up?
Yeah.
How's the family? That's it.
Yeah.
And it's quick.
Yeah, quick. Over and done. You don't want to hang out.
No. Is it noticeable? Do you know ways to not make it so noticeable?
Well, I think it's noticeable if people know and have done that or dealt with that. I think it's noticeable. Absolutely.
Like, is it something like where you get out of your car, they get out of their car, or
sometimes if Toby was with me, most likely not, because he was very protective.
He'd bite him.
Oh yeah, he was. People weren't coming near the vehicle. So I mean, if it was to the driver's side, then it would be a little different. What I had left on me was a very little amount. The amount was gone. I pull off. At this time, the Cumberland Farms wasn't open yet.
Wait, wait a minute. You're telling me that cops or that and you're not
undercover police officer is what he gets.
But you knew it.
I knew it.
Your gut.
But he didn't pull in to the Burger King.
Yeah.
I don't know where he went at that point.
Okay.
At that time, the Cumberland Farms was being built in Vernon. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I know exactly what you're talking about.
So they weren't open yet.
Okay.
I see a state
Is that the one
trooper.
I'm talking about?
Right down the street from 90.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So I see a state trooper in my rear view, and I pull in there and not realizing they weren't open yet. So I'm trying to lose them. Then I want the dude behind me. I pull in, and he pulls in also.
No, because your heart sank.
Of course. Absolutely.
What are you feeling at that moment? Are you
definitely anxious, nervous? What's about to happen? Is it? Because I've already seen this undercover cop leaving behind me when I'm pulling out of Motel 6, and the state trooper pulls right after it was the off ramp. Is that 68? Or that accident?
Yeah, could be.
Yes.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So he hits his lights, and I get out the registration, insurance. It's not my vehicle; it's my mother's vehicle. Like that. We got out registration, insurance. And I'm like, oh, that's what you're pulling over for. And as soon as he came out, it was step out of the vehicle. Okay. It's I have my registration insurance, so I don't need it. He goes on the ground behind the vehicle. Foki's in the vehicle, my dog. I can remember it was so hot that day. It was like 95 degrees, humidity. It was disgusting. Disgusting. I get out. He's got me in the little grass of the off-ramp, and they call for backup. They obviously need a female officer because a male officer can't touch me. State troopers are there. That officer pulls up that had followed me.
Sure, you must have.
Yeah, I know. And I said, this is it. It's over. Again, I didn't have anything on me. It was just money that was on me. But the reason why I was being pulled over is because there was an ongoing investigation for sales of a narcotic to an undercover. I had 3 of them, which someone that I had been dealing with for a long period of time had gotten arrested. Brought this undercover police officer to me on multiple, and but I knew, and even in the back of my mind then, I was like, something wasn't right about this.
But yet,
this undercover police officer, right? So I wouldn't deal with just him. He always had to have someone with him. And the guy that I had dealt with for so long that turned on me, I had the police officer with for like 2.5 months. I dealt with this guy. And then finally he calls me. He says, he's overcharging me. Do you think you can meet me directly? Started seeing him. You need 3 sales in order to get a conviction. That big quantity that I was going to pick up was for the undercover cop. His name was Chad, who's the undercover cop, who I met through someone that I had been dealing with for a long time.
So somebody ratted you out.
Correct.
Yeah. You know who that is.
I do.
See, that's what I was asking. Like, if the quantity, if it was like setting off like red flags or something like that, but you had said no because
it wasn't just because sometimes it would be like that. Sometimes it wouldn't. Sometimes it was never consistent. It set off a red flag. Like, I questioned it at first, and that's why I wanted to deal with just him. You know what I'm saying? Like, I waited some time, kind of see if I could feel the dude out. I would look people up on the internet. Like, I wouldn't just deal with anybody. That's not how it was. And then finally, against my better judgment, I dealt with him. And it was an undercover police officer.
Okay, so if you don't mind my asking, you were saying originally you didn't want to deal with Chad just by himself at the beginning.
Right.
What?
Because so in order for them to get sales to an undercover, it needs to be hand-to-hand transaction. So I needed to deal with him specifically and be like, him give me money.
You met Chad at Kmart Park. That was
with the other dude.
No, the other dude that actually turned on me in the park.
I see.
I see. But they were not together. Chad was waiting down the road for me. Chad was calling the whole time that the state police were putting me in. And he says to me that the undercover officer, he's like, who's Chad? I said, you guys know damn well who Chad is. Because the phone was blowing up because I'm going to meet this undercover police officer. Yeah. Putting all one and one together. They called in the Vernon Police Department female officer.
Okay, so at this point, like, what is going through your mind? Like, they
oh my God,
you don't care about the paperwork. You are
so much is flashing before your eyes.
Yeah, like what? Like, tell me.
You must be like,
it's almost. I'm going to say this, which is the same thing when I got two person. It's almost like I went. I'm not going to say numb, but it was almost like a numb feeling. Like, there's no way out of this. Like, you can't run. You can't. You know what I'm saying? It's time to face it. Honestly, so they get me into the state troopers car.
Hot as fuck, probably.
Oh, it was our AC in there. Funny story. The students, so they can't put you in the back of the car in the state trooper cars because there's no cage. So you could, if you're sitting behind a police officer, you could try choking him out or whatever. So he's got me in the front of the car. It's an older gentleman, and he's got his lunch there, whatever he had, like his lunch or whatever. And he's got me in the car. And he's like, don't touch my sandwich. Like, bro, that's the last thing I want to do is eat your sandwich. But not for nothing. Like, you have no room. You're caught behind a not small car. You have no room. You're like, oh yeah, that looks like a really good hamburger. You didn't touch that. But anyways, yes. So they got me in the car. They have to get Toby out. Toby got arrested with me. Poor thing. Yeah, Toby got arrested. And the poor thing is like, they're like,
Toby.
They want to use the long thing with the choker on it. Because he didn't have his leash on. The one time I always kept him leashed in the back seat. He wasn't leashed that day. And that poor dog, oh God.
He's so scared.
He was freaking out because here's
Mom.
and shit's going down.
You knew it.
you know. And they took him out to the paddy wagon and everything. Animal control came.
What happened to him?
Later on, he passed, but he was with Polly for a while and Allie.
That's good.
But Polly did go get him from the dog impound. And Toby smiles. He used to smile. So when he got picked up from doggy impound, he was so happy to see his daddy. I hear about this all the time. It's cute. But yes. So we're off to Troop C. Are we off to Troop C?
We are on. Me and Shaba, we're like right now. We're right behind.
Yeah,
you're in the back.
Car.
You're in the back, but we're reporters.
So we're gonna pull over because we're taking highway. We're gonna pull over because the state trooper never read me my rights. So I'm like, you need to read me my rights. He says, "Do you want me to pull over right here, right now?" And I said, "Absolutely." You never read me my rights. What are you arresting me for?
Right.
This state trooper had no clue what he was arresting me for. Had no clue.
But you knew, so you didn't even
ask. Yeah, but I was just being honest. I shouldn't have done. And I don't hate cops. I don't hate cops, and I don't hate COs, but we'll get to that towards the end.
Oh, yeah.
So he reads me my rights, and we get on our way. He left his sandwich there. He didn't even eat his long-term away over at Troop C. I wonder if I could use this. I don't know if I should use her name once we get to Troop C. I should leave it out. Anyways.
What does it rhyme with?
So, we're not going to use it. Anyway, so I get in there, and I look down at the paper, and there's, like I said, you have to have 3 warrants, 3 sales. So there's 3 separate ones. And I look down at the bottom, and each one says $200,000. They're not signed, though. The warrants weren't even signed yet on the rough before, which is crazy. So, questioning, booking, the whole 9. They never asked me where I got my drugs from. They never asked me any kind of like weird thing. They asked for consent to search the phone. I said no. They said that the dog hit on me when they brought the dog when I was out in that field, and then we pulled over. They did a bend and cock, we'll say. And which I didn't have any drugs on me. They found nothing. So normally a bond is set for flight risk. I've looked at staff my entire life. My family's all in Stafford. Again, I'm not some millionaire. They posted my bond at $600,000. 600,000, 200 on each warrant. So at that point, I knew I was not going anywhere. I knew that there was no way. But can I tell you, I'm in there with that detective, the undercover detective, and the female officer. They're questioning me or doing, they're part of the job. And we even laughed at one point because we were talking about how do you say badminton or badminton? How do you say it? Is it badminton? Badminton. We were actually laughing in the room, like having like a normal conversation. And I remember sitting back in the chair and being like, it's finally over. It's finally over. Wow. Did I want to be there? Absolutely not. But it was like it was never going to end unless it did. Just sense of relief that it was over.
Because it sounds to me like, and again, this is nothing against Polly or anything when I'm about nothing whatsoever, but you never wanted this life for you. You never wanted this life for him, but there was really no way that you could ever get out of this situation. How the hell were you going to get him out?
Right.
It was only this.
Wow. And it's crazy that I think about it. Like, I was like, seriously, like relieved. Like, this is deep breath. And it's,
so you're there. So you go through it.
They put me in I will say this officer's name. They put me in a cell, a holding cell down. I don't know. I'm sure you guys have never been in trouble, but there's a holding cell downstairs where they keep you. They bring you McDonald's or Burger King or whatever. I use the Burger King as a pillow because you don't get a pillow in there. You get a scratchy pointy tip. I will say this officer's name. Oh, I gotta go back. Yeah, hold on. So when they're reading the warrants, this is what I was going to say. So the sergeant that was on that day, who was a female sergeant, but we won't use her name.
Okay.
Absolutely amazing. She was very good to me. She was very calm, patient, respectful, treating me like a human being, not like some convicted drug dealer, murderer, or whatever. Amazing. That's all I got to say. Anyway, so I'm in the cell now, okay? I'm in the cell and I hear a knock at the door. And it's loud because it's metal. And I look up and it's Officer Buck. And he's like, I've been waiting for this day for so long. In his street clothes. He was happy to see that I finally got that in pot. And that. I think he was sad that it wasn't him. honestly, that he wasn't the officer that got to do that. But yeah, came all the way in from home to see me in that song.
Holy.
We'll just be happy that I won't say anything else. We'll leave it at that. But yes. So then what they do is they arraign you. So I spent the night at Troopsy, and then they arraign you the next morning.
Okay. So for those of us that are unaware of this, what exactly does it mean to be arraigned? Like, what does that look like?
So arraigned is you're going to be brought to Rockville Works. It's Town County.
Did they give you a blanket if you slept overnight?
It's itchy. It's gross. You don't want to touch it.
It's one of those.
And Bob from down the way probably used the blanket. You don't want that blanket. You don't want that blanket. They're like, I don't know what they're made of. They're like,
Did you sleep at all?
Oh, no. No.
You don't sleep.
No. You don't sleep. There's too much on your mind. So they drive me to Rockville Court.
Yeah.
You're put in a holding cell there.
By yourself?
If there was other women there that came from Niantic. This is where we meet our friends. My new family for the next 5 years.
No.
Oh, really?
Well, I mean, there's girls in there in holding in the Rockville Court.
These are your people in court.
Well,
This is Orange is the New Black. If you don't watch this show,
you have to keep you. So the girls from Niantic.
I know Lala's probably dying because of my face.
is like you guys.
I think it's funny.
You guys are so
I'm over like ready to take a lay down nap and just like find over.
Hold on, guys. Hold up.